Hello guys, my name is Mas for Lockmaker 360. You know, there is a very powerful tool in the world called an Arduino, and if you can work with this tool, then life gets easier. No guys, I'm just kidding. In the previous videos about the Arduino fundamentals, we looked at selection and data types and how we can calculate with data types. And in this video we're gonna work with functions, and you make a function to make your code more readable. So for example, in this little sketch, inside the loop we have a integer and we are adding two values, e and b, and then we write down in the serial monitor e plus b is the answer. And just for one operation inside the loop we have a huge, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of code. And that looks a little bit confusing because just for one tiny operation we have 6 lines, and if you come back to this code over 3 weeks, then you think, man, where are all those lines for? And yeah, you have to think again, and it's confusing, and there must be a better way to write your code, and that's with a function. And you write a function outside the loop. So this is the start, this is the end, and below that we write a function, and we start functions always with a data type, and in this case we started with a data type integer, so int. And the next thing is the name of the function, and in this case we call it add, what shall we do, add and print, and then you have to place quotations and brackets, and between the quotations are going arguments, and in this case we put 2 arguments in there, and arguments are always data types as well, and you have to write down the data types. So in this case we put int 1 and int 2, and you can put as many arguments in there as you want. You start a function with a data type, then you come up with the name, the function name, and then inside parentheses you write your arguments, and you separate your arguments with a comma, and between the brackets is the function body, and in there you write your code. And what we do, we are gonna add 1 with 2, but first inside the body we make another argument we call int function answer, and we set this to 0, and in the next line we do function answer is 1 plus 2. So what we do is we add this value with this value, and we write that value inside this integer. And if you make a data type inside a function, then you only can use it inside that function. So this integer is only available inside this function. And with those lines we write it down inside the serial monitor, and to finish the function you have to use the keyword return, and you see it turns in a different color. Then you know that it is a keyword, and you have to return the same data type as you start your function with. And so this in this case it must be an integer, and we gonna return this answer, and we stop it with a semicolon. And now the function is finished, and now we have to call the function inside the loop. And we do this with just simply typing the word add and print, and then the parentheses and a semicolon. And inside the parentheses you have to put the same number of arguments as you have in the function. Otherwise the compiler will crash the sketch. And in this case we are gonna put in there E and B. E, comma, B. And before that we type answer is. And we press compile and we run it, and we open up the serial monitor, and you'll see 5 plus 2 is 7. And basically all the work is done inside the function. And now it's very easy to change A with C and run it again, and inside the monitor you see 200 plus 2 is 202. Just very easy with changing one variable inside the function. So the return value from the function is now stored inside the answer, and you can use a function as something like a data type. Like you can add a function with a function, like I do over here. So I have a function C plus B, and then I add and the same function, but this time C, and I print the answer, as you can see over here. This is the first function, this is the second function, and this is the answer on the end. I modified the code a little bit. I put 2 LEDs on there, a red one and a green one. I store them in bytes. So I set pin 2 to a byte and pin 3 to a byte, and on the pins I connect a LED, and I declare those pins as outputs, and then I write our function, and as data type I use void, and void means empty. So it's an empty data type, but because you have to start a function with a data type, and if you don't need one you use the word void. And I call the function turn LED on, and as an argument I have a byte, and I call it a LED, and all I do is I set the pin high. So I set the LED high, and I call the function in the loop over here, and as an argument I set the red LED high. And that's a very effective way to use a function. By the way, delay with 50,000 microseconds is a function as well. But this function is inside the built-in Arduino libraries. And just for fun I looked it up, and it looks very confusing. And something like this. I don't understand this. It's too complicated for me. It's written in 2002 by a guy named Michael Kiewicz. Must be Polish or something. This is the end of the video, and if you are following this tutorial, I got some homework for you. I made a few tutorials back. I talked about the if statement, and this is the code. I think it's my third video in this series, and inside this loop there is a lot. We set a lot of LEDs high and low, and if you follow the series, a good thing to practice is to rewrite this code with functions. So write a function like reset LED, or a function to set the yellow LED high, or set the yellow LED low, or if you do it, let me know. I love to see it. Please subscribe to my channel. The next video I will talk about looping, like the while loop and the for loop. Thanks for watching.